What's up, everybody? Good afternoon to you, those of you tapping into the first episode of All 22. We are all in with All 22. We finally got the first draft off the ground. It's going, it's in progress. But, like always, I want to make sure that I do some content on All 22 because I am all in on All 22. I really love it. I love the features. I love everything. So go check out the Q&A if you want more on that. But hope everybody's doing well this afternoon. It's kind of incredible that we finally got the draft going. You know, we had a little bit of a pushback. It was hard to get people when it's something brand new. Had to get people feeling comfortable with it. And I promise you, this isn't the only one. I have people reaching out like, are we going to do another league? Absolutely. I will do as many leagues as people want to do. Keep them coming. Keep creating them. Hit me up in them DMs, Discord, Twitter, wherever. Post on here. I just need your email address and I will get invites out and fill leagues. But as you can see, look at this fancy ass banner down here. Look at that. The promo code's right in there. 40% off if you sign up with promo code Mike22. And one of the things on the last Q&A, we got some questions, a little bit of a pushback about the cost. Something to keep in mind. I know for me, I just spent $70 on Madden. Just dropped it on Madden without even thinking about it. In one game. Next year I'll do the same. It's not a thing for me. You think about other fantasy leagues, some of the other platforms, looking at you, MFL, they make you pay per league to run it. All 22 gives you unlimited access to all the leagues, private, public, the ones you'll be in with me, the ones you'll be in with Adam, for just that one fee every year. But you get 40% off. So, man, we already got some comments in here too. Jeez, Adam. Yeah, of course, this man's at work here. I'm bringing it on my day off. You gotta love what you're seeing. Shorts, thanks for tapping in, buddy. Appreciate it. And yes, Adam, you're on the clock. Go get that pick in. What's going on in these finest? So, let's look at it here, man. We filled out a 12-team league. We're gonna do a trade deadline week 10, I believe, is what this league is set up for. Just kind of feeling it out here for the first league. So it is an actual paid league. So we do have the All 22 subscription. We paid. Everybody's in. We're also doing $20 on League Safe, just for that little bit of extra. You know, the guy at the end who wins the inaugural All 22 league is going to have some cash and, of course, bragging rights. But let's see if I pull this up here. Let's see. Make sure that we can get the draft board. We can see exactly how bad I'm doing. We'll go over some of the things that I've learned already. Boom, there we go. All right, as you can see, Adam holding up the draft like always. Yes, T-Rock, we are live. We are live. So this is what it looks like when you're in here in the draft board. So you got the draft center, Adam's on the clock. Of course, it's going to give you everybody who has the next pick, right? As we go, round 9. There is no trading in the startup, so it makes it easier. It's a 1-hour clock. The draft can be paused. One of the things I will give feedback on is, for me especially, I either need the feature where I can just turn the clock off and the draft can continue, or on the pause button, people can still make picks with the clock paused. Because right now, the way it's set up, you can't make a pick if I pause the draft, which when you're trying to do a slow draft, it's very beneficial to have that ability because some people are night owls, some people work nights. So when I go to bed at 10:30 and shut the clock off, the draft is literally on hold, 100% pause until I wake up in the morning and put it back on. So that is one thing I think I would definitely make a suggestion to the All 22 guys, and I talk with Bobby quite a bit in DMs and get a nice feedback on it. So, yeah, I do agree though, T-Rock. They do need to update Roger's profile pic to Nick Cage. Conair be so much better. So, this is the next guy up here. No, I'm not giving away any of my secrets. I cleared my queue before I came on here. One thing I did notice this morning too, it wasn't like this yesterday, so some of the numbers kind of got scrunched. I don't know. It's on mobile too. So I don't know if there's a little bit of a programming thing, but not that big of a deal. Well, let's go back and see how far down we can scroll here. So I would like a draft board. You know, if you think about it on Sleeper, where you can get the nice picture of the board. That'd be another suggestion. Overall, though, I will say it does its job. The draft center, this being the first full year of it, obviously they're going to be working on it and improving it the best way that they can. But there are some things like when I'm so accustomed to sleeper drafts, going from there and that UI, that ease of use, a little bit different. But I get the basic information that I need. I get the basic functions. There's just some things that, hey, this is what a partnership would be about, and this is what exploring is about. So hopefully I can give them some good feedback, and they'll take it to heart, and we'll keep trying to make this thing the best possible way it can. But with the first pick, as you can see, Justin Herbert went off the board, then Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Kyler Murray, Russ, Dak, and the first non-quarterback didn't come till pick 8. The one thing I will say about strategy and the way I've seen this unfold is everybody who took a quarterback early probably regrets it. They probably regret it. I did not take a quarterback early. I had the 10th pick, and the tear down king, Mr. Running Backs himself, yes, I went Justin Jefferson. But my thinking, my reasoning behind going for wide receiver instead of chasing quarterback is if I'm already at the back part of the draft, I could definitely see getting a Herbert, a Josh Allen, Mahomes. If you're a Joe Burrow guy, I think as far as scoring wise went, he was number 1, number 2. Okay, he was number 1 in the queue when you just enter the draft room. So if you're that guy, I understand. But we got to remember, it's a 1 QB league and there's 12 teams. You only start 1. So the reason I say that I think people who took quarterback early are regretting it for the most part is look what's still out here, right? Aaron Rodgers, Ryan Tannehill, Trevor Lawrence, Hurts, Brady, Tua, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Kenny Pickett. Carson Wentz, I guess, Jameis Winston. But some of these guys, Hurts being still around, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, these kind of guys that we are excited about for in Dynasty, some more than others, still being around here in the 9th round. I haven't taken a quarterback yet because I didn't really see a need to. But what are you going to do? In a 1 QB, are you going to hoard Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes? I guess possibly you could and try to trade them to other teams later, but this is why I don't play in 1 QB dynasty leagues, right? Just because there's not a whole lot of incentive to have quarterbacks in those leagues. So I would say if you probably pulled some of these guys and asked them, I don't know if they're taking quarterbacks so early, truthfully. So my strategy then is, let me go try to get other top players at other tiers. So Myles Garrett would have been my pick, but good on Indy's finest here. Good on you, buddy, for taking it. Good on you for taking it. He took Myles Garrett from me, so I went Justin Jefferson. Then when it came back, of course, right? If I'm gonna take Justin Jefferson, I might as well lean in and take Jamar Chase too, right? Just have it on wide receiver. This one right here, the 2-1, Mac Jones. That's really laying down the law on how well you feel about Mac Jones. So that's our boy Koopa Troopa. I believe that. Yeah, that's Koopa Troopa. Yeah, back-to-back picks. Mac Jones. I'm sure he doesn't enjoy taking Mac Jones really. But so this is kind of the way the draft has gone. You get the season grade here, and then the actual all 22. So this is the PFF grade. This is what they would have scored in PFF or in the all 22. And I think I talked about it on the Q&A, but it gives you the weighted multiplier. So quarterback's the top position, easily. Well, my general strategy, so let me just look at just my team, the Kings. So Jefferson, Chase, Kyle Pitts. Went heavy on the youth, and I went heavy for guys that I think I could have for 4, 5, 6 more years and be elite at their position. And not at quarterbacks. I didn't want to chase other positions while other people were doing it. So that was my general strategy, man. I didn't want to chase quarterbacks. If edge rushers were flying off the board, I didn't want to go edge rushers. If tackles were going off the board, I didn't want to chase tackles. Corners, kind of same thing. I wanted to pave my own path. I a new path through the snow, new lines in the sand, right? I wanted to draw those out. So Jefferson, Chase, Kyle Pitts, Josh Allen, which I was pretty excited that he was there. The Derwin James one. Safeties don't really score for shit, but it's Derwin James, man. It's Derwin James. And it's kind of the same thing for linebackers. Like these two guys I was pretty excited to get. Tackles are starting to go quick. I didn't want to get left with a terrible one, so I went ahead on my last pick. Round 7, I took Laramie Tunsil, came back with Vita Vea. But this is kind of where the tackles are at. We're down into rookies, of course. Mekhi Becton with his injuries. Ronnie Stanley, I kind of like him for a bounce back year, so maybe. There's a few tackles in here left, but they're starting to get gobbled up pretty quick. Defensive wise, I still need another edge rusher. I need to address cornerback at some point. And then obviously I have to get a quarterback. Nobody knows when the guys who haven't taken quarterbacks are going to start making that run. So I think we're all just kind of staring at each other going, who's blinking first? We did have a Lamar come off the board maybe a round or two ago. But it was a while for that quarterback right there. So 7-8. And before that, the last quarterback, 6'5", right? So I guess we're on the pace of getting one around. This is what I should do. If I'm being honest with you guys, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to look and see who has quarterbacks, who doesn't have quarterbacks, see how many are left, and that's kind of where I'm going to gauge it. I'm going to hold off as long as I can. Yeah, T-Rock, the website's actually not too bad. I don't want to gas them up too much because we have high expectations with Sleeper, but we also have to remember Sleeper is incredibly good at innovating, keeping things going. The UI is what's so damn appealing. But for year one, for this just getting off the ground, I'm pretty impressed. Plus, they have some really cool sound effects when you're on the clock, little music that plays in the background. MFL definitely should take notes. The UI, just the appearance of it's already better than MFL. It doesn't hurt your eyes so bad. And yeah, Cooper, you really want that Mac Jones pick back, I bet, buddy. I bet. I expected to have no QBs left when I got to my next pick. Yeah, I think that was the big thing, though, right, buddy? That it was hard to kind of quantify because we come from so much super flex dynasty where there's just none. After a certain point, the QB run's coming. And everybody who didn't take a quarterback in the first part just looked and was like, nah, I ain't taking one of these dudes. If you want to double up Josh Allen with, Mac Jones or whoever the hell it may have been on your way back, good, fine on you. I'll go ahead and take these stud edge rushers or stud tackles or, stud wide receivers who score pretty well. So I want Mac Jones because I think you're growing to a good PFF guy. That's very, very possible too. And that's something that I've been trying to keep in mind too. Youth in PFF grades, and then even some of these positions, we think about guys that are really good for fantasy football because they do things like catch touchdowns or they get a lot of yards or that kind of stuff. You got to think about the guys who are good at everything and well-rounded. So maybe at the tight end position for me, when I'm staring there at Kyle Pitts, maybe a better choice would have been somebody who's a better blocker. Going to be used more in line, who's really strong in the run game. So think about a George Kittle type, So there's some other layer to get to, but I think we're all just kind of blindly feeling this out. I have no way to rank teams who I like. We'll go through some of them here and see where they're at, but I have no idea who has a strong team, who doesn't, and I think we're going to find out in the first few weeks when the season kicks off who's right, who's wrong, or maybe we're all wrong, or maybe we're all right. I don't know, but it's going to be very interesting. And if I'm the only one without a quarterback, good. I keep waiting it out. I might wait until the end. That's a joke. I definitely don't want to get stuck with somebody absolutely horrible, but we'll see. The rest of the guys available I was feeling mad about. I get it. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of guys in there that I was. Ooh, ooh. Is it a pro or a con to get a player before they get a fat contract? Um, yeah, I don't think it really matters. Honestly, doesn't. I think the real life NFL contract is good for you, just like it is in like a dynasty league where you know you have that security, right? You know that they're not going anywhere for the next couple of years. Same kind of principle here. The only thing I've been doing with contracts, like in my head, wide receiver was a big one, and this is kind of why I talked myself into going wide receiver early, is because this was like the first year where we really started seeing wide receivers as a whole get these big, massive deals. So it's something I'm trying to keep in my head because the scoring goes off the average, right? So the average across the league, like the franchise tag value of these players, and I believe the real NFL, maybe it's like the top 10 at the position average out. That's how they come up with the franchise tag value. So I'm thinking about real football. I'm thinking about wide receiver positions starting to get 20 plus mil a year getting paid out to them, and how that position's value is like starting to catch up. It's not ever going to be the quarterback position. It may never ever reach the premier edge rusher position, but it might be in the close to the same conversation there versus where it used to be. So if that's going to keep going up year over year, wide receiver scoring, the percentages on it is going to go up again. You know, next year when we look at the franchise tag value for the wide receiver position, instead of it being, I don't know, I think they're maybe 5%, 5.25%, yeah, 5.25%. Maybe next year on the all 22 scoring, that might be up to 5.8, 5.9. You know, maybe it gets to 6%. Like I said, the edge rushers are the next guys in line, so they're at 6%. So that's been something I've been thinking about a little bit when drafting. Is, you know, if you can get guys now and then get a scoring boost just because the NFL as a whole is paying that position more, might be smart money on it. Do you think it's better to target the more scarce positions first, like the highest paid running backs and kickers, or just the highest paid positions regardless of scarcity? Me, I'm just going like the most scarce or the best players on the board, right? So I'm trying to think about, this is where like Madden comes into play for me, to be completely honest. I'm thinking about what's most valuable in Madden to like the computers and actually in real football. And if, you know, like the QB 8, 9, 10 are going off the board, but I can go get, you know, edge rusher number 2, if I can go get wide receiver 1 and 2, as long as I'm not going super, super low. You know what I mean? So a good example is, if I went too far one direction, I would have taken like a guy like Quentin Nelson, you know, number 1 guard at his position. The problem is they score so low. It's kind of that feel out where I want to wait a little bit, and at some point I'll go ahead and pull the trigger. So it's like that Derwin James pick that I made, exact one, where safeties really don't score that, but, you know, I'm in round 7, 6, 7, right? When the hell did I take him? Round 5. All right, so on the turn. Round 5, pick 10, where I'm kind of just doing that balance and act like safeties don't score that much, but I'm talking about getting the number 1 guy at the position. Kickers, punters, on the other hand, they score so little. So, like, just give you a reference here. When I talk safeties, 3.78. Quarterbacks are at 9. Like, so just keep that in mind. Number 1 guys, though, like guards, 3.8. So maybe this is probably about the time that people would start be thinking about taking some guards. I might have gone too early on safety, too. Who knows? Just it was a huge tier break for me. Punters. There's really no point in getting the best punter. There's really no point. They score so little. I don't care if they're in the top tier. It's just like, man, you're going to have to be in rounds like all your starters filled before you really start thinking about that. Kickers, kind of the same thing, right? The Justin Tuckers of the world, 1.1. And, I mean, who's to judge how much difference there is between a guy like Justin Tucker and Harrison Butker? You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I'm at here. So if you're thinking about it, T-Rock, like I was kind of thinking quarterbacks are the highest paid, but the problem is you only need 1. So Positional scarcity knocks that down. Safeties you need 2. Edge rushers you need 2. Wide receivers you can start up to 3 if you run your personnel packages, which I'll touch on here in a little bit. Running backs, they don't get that much, but maybe I should value them a little bit more because you can start 2 of them. Right? You can run 21 personnel and put 2 on the field. Tight ends, kind of the same thing. Defensive linemen, so you think about more of the interior guys, not considered edge rushers. You can change how many of those get on the field with your personnel packages. And same for linebackers. Running a 3-4 versus a 4-3. Corners, big ones too. So there, to kind of answer your question, there are some positions where it's like, instead of chasing other ones, I'd rather just get the ones at the top tier. But I do have my own limits where I'm kind of looking how deep the tier is at guard or how deep the tier is at safety. And if I feel like it's not very deep, even though the scoring may be a little bit less, I'm willing to kind of go ahead and take those guys. If it's a deep tier of elite guys towards the top and it's low scoring, it's a low priority selection for me. So it's very, very, very interesting how we're kind of just figuring this out in the dark. But yeah, I imagine quarterbacks, linemen, wide receivers, and cornerbacks are the highest paid. Yeah, you pretty much hit it. Linemen other than guards. So you can see here, we got the scoring of quarterbacks, 978. I think I pulled it up on the Q&A too. There was a nice list, but like running backs, we know NFL doesn't pay running back that much. So that's why, guys, we're getting close to the 10th round. And Najee Harris, Christian McCaffrey, like these guys out here. I think we've had 1 running back go so far. I believe so. Yeah, Mr. Jonathan Taylor, and I think that's it. Yep. Round 7, pick 6. So you kind of have the give and take, right? The yin and yang of what you want to do here. So it's not just contract and position grades, but overall impact on the game. I love all the nuanced strategy of all 22. Yes. The contracts are just affecting what this number is right here, and you see, just to make it clear, because it is a little bit different for other people, and some people don't understand it right off the bat, and I understand it, but you see how each quarterback is the exact same in the position weight, right? So it's just weighted off the quarterback position as a whole. So it doesn't matter that Daniel Jones and Aaron Rodgers, they have the exact same position weight. Where it comes into play is their grade, right? So you take the grade times the position weight, gives you the all-22 score. So you just keep that in mind. Where you're not drafting the contract of the individual player. It only comes into like your job security, how well you feel about them being on their team and not changing teams. But the actual NFL contracts affect the whole position, the whole damn thing. So running backs, they don't pay running backs, right? We just started to pay wide receivers this year. So this is kind of where that little bit of strategy came in. The wide receiver position as a whole, maybe I'm bumping that up, and you can see I spent my first 2 picks. So, and I keep forgetting, it's also about what type of offense, defense you run. This is so cool. Yeah, let me see. I don't think yet it will show my team with the players on it. No, not yet. Probably not until after the draft. But this is what I'm talking about, like wide receivers. Well, I already have 2. So if I get a third one in here, right, I'll probably just run 11 personnel. But I do have that flexibility. Yeah, I have no players, so I can't change it, but it'll change up here. I do have that flexibility where if a guy like, George Kittle, Travis Kelce, something like that falls to me, I might run 12 personnel, right? I might run more 2 tight end sets, which would be pretty cool if you think about it. I'd love to have a Madden roster on my team, like an actual Madden roster where I had Pitts and Kelce, Chase and Jefferson. Like, just give me any quarterback with a pulse. I think this will do fine. I'll do all right. All right, Shorts. I calculated the percentage for this year yesterday at work. At least I think I did it right. All right, good. Yeah, it's a little complicated, but I think once we get into actual weekly play, and like week 1's done and we can kind of go back and look, that we'll have a better understanding of how exactly it works. It's hard when you're just looking at formulas and kind of typing it out and getting examples, so I understand that. But I think I have a good idea of the concept, just not 100% sure. So this is all what we're going to be working on all year. This is why we're doing a weekly episode. I'm going to get in here every time that I've kind of figured something out. Talk to y'all guys, talk to the Discord, get in here with strategy, and hopefully we'll have something really concrete ironed out by the end of the year. So when we come back next year, everybody who's tuned in this podcast, we're going to dominate. Take people's money. For the contract, is the contract total average per year or anything with guaranteed money factored in? Nope. I touched on it on the Q&A. Let me pull it up here. I want to see. There we go. I'll try to show you here real quick and then I'll bounce out of here. Change screens. Boom. There we go. Alright. So if you're thinking about contracts, okay, so this is their little FAQ that they have here. Alright. So the average of the top 5 salaries, similar to the franchise tag, gives you the all 22 tag, are calculated for each position before every season. The sum of all values in step 1 is calculated for 11 offensive and defensive players, positions, a punter, and a kicker. Each positional weight is determined by calculating the all 22 tag value as a percent from the team total. So here's to give you the examples, right? Quarterback, the top 5 in the entire league average, $40.4 million. The all 22 tag value for a linebacker is $17.6 million. Total for every position on your team, 11 offensive players, 11 defensive players, kicker and punter, is $413.2 million. So $40 million of $413.2 million is 9.78%. That's how they come up with the weights, right there. So it's just the top 5 as a whole, all the way through. This chart will give you a better idea, right? So if you were to do it, you'd take 40 plus 14 plus 21, 21, 14, all the way down, right? And you do the same for defense, it gives you this total is $413 million. But this is the top 5 salaries for every position in the NFL, 11 starters, all the way through. And then whatever their individual total is, the percentage of 413, the total. Does it make a little bit more sense? So it doesn't really matter anything to do with contract total or guaranteed money. We're just looking at average per year, what their top 5 positions average pay per year is. So that's going to be huge. Where it's the guaranteed money part, you know, maybe we get a little bit that fall down with more NFL contracts going to like the Lamar Jackson talk, right? About him really wanting it all guaranteed. So maybe the average falls a little bit on some of these positions because they're going to more guaranteed money. I really think the players are probably just, the average will probably still be the average. It'll just be more if it gets guaranteed. So get those spreadsheets ready. Yes. I don't even know what's more important though, the percentage or the scarcity of positions. Yeah, that's the juggling act, right? That we're going through. I think everybody's going through. Positional scarcity or how much they actually score. Right? How much they actually score. So it's not the individual's contract. It's basically the franchise tag value for the whole position. So it wouldn't matter if I had Mahomes or freaking Drew Lock in terms of their contract. Nope. Their individual contract does not matter. Does not matter. It's the positional contract. Now what matters is the fact that Patrick Mahomes is probably going to get a much better PFF grade week in, week out than Drew freaking Lock. Right? They're going to get the same multiplier. But, you know, if you multiply shit, it's still shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much you multiply shit. It's still shit. So that's just the example right there, T-Rock. It's a good one. You can get on their website. You watch the Q&A. I think I showed it, went over it again. But, you know, just touching on it, going back over it one more time. And let me check on this draft. We'll see exactly where we're at, if Adam ever made his pick, and then bounce out of here. No, he didn't. He has 5 minutes, so maybe we'll get a first auto draft. Hopefully he's got a queue. Hopefully he's got a queue. But yeah, we'll be back. Hopefully me and Adam together next week to do another one. We should have this draft finished. Just a reminder, if you want to do it, promo code, get you 40% off. Hit me up. I will make as many leagues as required of everybody who wants to get in and try one. There are public leagues that you can just hop in. I'm sure maybe they have some like league bylaws in there, in like the league chat if they're like a paid league. So the way we did it is everybody paid their subscription, right? Everybody hopped in, and then we made a new league safe. Put $20 on the line a piece, tossed it in, league dues just like a Dynasty league. So exactly why we're saying it's Madden meets Dynasty. Madden meets Dynasty. But man, any other questions before we get out of here? Anything else? Bounce out of here. I'm gonna do this once a week, baby. I love this all 22. I don't know if I love my team. Well, we'll find out. We're gonna find out. I appreciate that, T-Rock. It's something where literally I bought Madden and I've played maybe one game. I probably put like 6 hours onto Madden already. I played one game because all I'm doing is just going around trying to make the Eagles into the ultimate Super Bowl contender. So I do that in my free time. That doesn't cost me any money. This costs me money, but the better part of it is if I do a good job, I don't care that it costs me money because I hope to take Adam's money. I hope to take Brandon's money. I hope to take Short's money. I hope to take Koopa Troopa's money at the end of the year. That's my ultimate goal. So hopefully we get 3 or 4 or 5, 6 of these leagues. How many ever people want to join, get them going, and we get $20 in the league safe for each team. Next year we'll step up to bigger money leagues once we actually know what the hell's going on. So hopefully we can get everybody an advantage so you can join those $50, $100 entry, all 22 leagues, and take home the pot at the end of the year and build these monsters for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And we'll be the guys who are running all 22. We'll be the guys who are, every time somebody joins the league, they go, oh shit, T-Rock's in this league. I ain't gonna win. But anything else, fellas? You got questions, put them in here. But we're also answering them in the Discord, so if you like what you see here, you want some more, we do have an all 22 dedicated channel in the Discord, patreon.com/South Harmon. Hashtag self-promotion. All right, hit them likes. Yeah, I love you, buddy. You're always helping me out here. Hit them likes. Hit them likes, hit the subscribe, comment away. That's what we do this for. But, all right, I'm out of here. Fat guy's going to go eat some lunch. Love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.